Ladies and gentlemen, happiness is not something that suddenly falls into our lap. It is not hidden in some far-off destination, nor is it waiting at the end of a long journey. Happiness is a choice, a decision that we must make every single day, even when life feels heavy, even when everything around us seems broken. It is easy to surrender to sadness, but it takes courage to rise every morning and push yourself towards joy. Today, I want to remind you that happiness is not a privilege, it is a responsibility. And it is your responsibility to push yourself to be happy every single day. Gratitude turns ordinary days into blessings. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever have. The second you pause and say, I'm thankful for this moment, you rewire your brain to see what's right instead of obsessing over what's wrong. When your mind focuses on what's lacking, you stay stuck. But when your mind locks onto what's present, you immediately shift your energy. Gratitude isn't something big. It's about being thankful for your morning coffee, for the fact that you woke up breathing, for the chance to try again. The truth is, most of us overlook the basics. We think happiness will come with promotions, cars, vacations, or love stories. But here's the thing, happiness starts before any of that. If you don't learn to be grateful for what you already have, nothing new will ever satisfy you. The bigger things will come and they'll fade, but the ability to be thankful in the now, that's where true happiness lives. Every morning, if you want to push yourself to be happy, start by naming 3 things you're grateful for. Write them down, say them out loud, feel them in your chest. Because the act of practicing gratitude literally forces your brain to release chemicals that improve your mood. It changes your focus, it changes your physiology, it changes how you step into the day. And here's the deal. Gratitude isn't just about feelings, it's about focus. You cannot simultaneously focus on gratitude and lack. Try it. If you're truly grateful, you can't be bitter in the same breath. That's why gratitude pushes you to be happy. It blocks the negative loop in your brain and installs a positive one instead. Even in your hardest seasons, you can still be grateful for something. Maybe it's the lesson the struggle is teaching you. Maybe it's the person who didn't give up on you. Maybe it's the fact that you get another chance tomorrow. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it gives you the strength to carry it with joy. So if you want happiness, start here. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't wait for life to give you a massive breakthrough. Push yourself into gratitude every single day and watch how ordinary days begin to look like extraordinary blessings. Break free from negative people and spaces. You cannot live a happy life if you're trapped in unhappy environments. Think about it, your mind is like a sponge. It soaks up whatever it's surrounded by. If you're around people who complain all day, criticize you, gossip, or constantly drag energy down, you'll find yourself heavy, even when nothing is wrong. Happiness cannot grow in toxic soil, and you can't afford to underestimate the impact of your surroundings. So many people stay in spaces that drain them because it feels comfortable, familiar, or safe. But comfort is a trap if it's built on negativity. Pushing yourself to be happy means making bold choices about who gets access to your energy. If someone constantly makes you feel small, if a place leaves you empty, if an environment suffocates your joy, you have to be brave enough to walk away. The truth is, it's not about being cruel or selfish. It's about self-preservation. Your happiness is fragile when you hand it over to other people's moods and negativity. The moment you realize you don't need to tolerate toxic spaces, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your right to be happy. Start by taking an honest look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Are they fueling your happiness or draining it? Are they encouraging you or criticizing you? Are they building your joy or destroying your peace? Because you become the average of them. If you want to push yourself to be happy, you need to upgrade your circle. And this isn't just about people, it's about places too. Look at your room, your desk, your social media feed. Are these spaces full of negativity, clutter, and noise? Or do they inspire you, calm you, and give you energy? Happiness is heavily influenced by your environment, and you have the power to shift it. When you start cutting out negativity, something amazing happens. You create room for joy. You create room for better connections, better environments, and better energy. And once you feel the difference, you'll never again settle for spaces that suffocate your happiness. Celebrate small wins every day. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for huge achievements before they let themselves feel happy. They set happiness at the finish line of massive goals: graduation, marriage, dream job, financial freedom. But here's the reality: happiness doesn't wait for milestones. It's created in the small wins you collect every day. When you finally start noticing those small wins, you'll realize happiness is everywhere. The moment you chose to get out of bed instead of hitting snooze, that's a win. The moment you went for a walk when you wanted to scroll your phone, that's a win. The moment you spoke kindly to yourself instead of tearing yourself down, that's a win. Small wins prove you're showing up for yourself, and that creates momentum. Momentum is everything. Happiness isn't about a sudden big leap, it's about steady progress, even if the steps are tiny. If you don't celebrate those steps, you'll feel like you're failing, even though you're moving forward. By pushing yourself to recognize and celebrate the small wins, you create fuel that carries you into bigger victories. This doesn't mean throwing a party for every little thing. It means acknowledging your effort and progress. Write it down, smile at yourself in the mirror, give yourself credit. Don't minimize the small things, because they're the building blocks of your bigger dreams. The truth is, if you can't be happy with the small steps, you'll never be happy with the big ones either. You'll reach that big milestone, and instead of feeling joy, you'll instantly chase the next. Happiness isn't found in the destination, it's in the journey, and the journey is made of small wins. So every night before you go to bed, ask yourself, what did I win today? Maybe it's something no one else noticed. Maybe it's something tiny. But when you train your brain to celebrate progress, you'll realize happiness isn't waiting at the end. You've been building it all along. Learn to forgive yourself and others. Happiness and resentment cannot live in the same heart. If you're holding grudges, replaying mistakes, or carrying old wounds, you're blocking yourself from joy. Forgiveness is one of the hardest pushes you'll ever make, but it's also one of the most freeing. You cannot be truly happy while dragging the weight of resentment behind you. Forgiving others isn't about letting them off the hook, it's about letting yourself off the hook of anger. When you refuse to forgive, you carry their actions with you every day, and it robs you of peace. Forgiveness is an act of reclaiming your power, of saying what you did is not okay, but it no longer controls me. And sometimes the person you need to forgive most is yourself. We all make mistakes. We all fail. We all say or do things we regret. The problem is, most of us live in self-punishment for years. You cannot punish yourself into happiness. You cannot bully yourself into peace. At some point, you have to look in the mirror and decide, I forgive myself. That act of self-forgiveness is revolutionary. It doesn't erase the past, but it stops the past from ruling the present. Happiness doesn't grow in self-hate, it grows in self-compassion. Every time you push yourself to let go, to forgive, to soften your own inner voice, you create more space for happiness to live. And here's the truth: forgiveness is a daily push. It's not a one-time decision. Some days you'll feel the old bitterness creeping back, and you'll have to push yourself to release it again. That's okay. Healing is not linear. But every time you choose forgiveness over bitterness, you choose happiness over pain. So if you want to be happy every day, ask yourself, who am I still carrying? What mistake am I still punishing myself for? Then push yourself to let it go, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve freedom. Choose joy intentionally every single day. Happiness is not automatic. It's not going to just fall into your lap. Every single day, you have to wake up and choose it. That's what pushing yourself to be happy is all about. Life will hand you stress, problems, and negativity. You don't get to control that. But you do get to control your response. Happiness doesn't mean your life is perfect. It means you decide to focus on joy anyway. You have to stop waiting for a magical reason to be happy. There is no perfect day, no flawless moment. Happiness is built when you look around and say, right here, right now, I'm going to find joy. Maybe it's a song that makes you move. Maybe it's laughter with a friend. Maybe it's watching the sunset. You don't stumble into joy, you chase it, you create it, you choose it. And when you start choosing joy, it compounds. One moment of laughter leads to a lighter heart, which leads to better energy, which leads to better interactions. Before you know it, you're not just pushing yourself into happiness, you're living in it naturally. But it always starts with a choice. The danger is in autopilot. Most people wake up, grab their phone, and slip straight into stress. They don't even realize happiness was available all along. Don't be one of them. Push yourself to break that autopilot. Push yourself to ask, what's one thing I can do right now that brings me joy? Then do it. Every single day. And don't mistake happiness for luck. Happy people aren't luckier than you. They just work at it more consistently. They push themselves through the hard mornings, through the negative thoughts, through the heavy seasons. Happiness is not about waiting, it's about choosing. And it's about choosing every single day. So if you really want to transform your life, stop waiting for happiness to find you. Start pushing yourself into it. Push yourself into gratitude. Push yourself into better spaces. Push yourself into small wins. Push yourself into forgiveness. Push yourself into joy. And when you do, happiness won't just be something you chase, it'll become who you are. At the end of the day, happiness is not a gift that life hands over to you. It's a responsibility that you take on every single morning. It doesn't wait for perfect circumstances. It doesn't hide behind future goals. It lives in the choices you make today. The push to be happy is about reclaiming your control over your own life, no matter what chaos surrounds you. When you choose gratitude, when you free yourself from negativity, when you celebrate small wins, when you forgive, and when you intentionally lean into joy, you are reminding yourself that happiness is never outside, it's always within. The truth is, no one else can push you to be happy. People can inspire you, environments can influence you, but the final push must come from you. Every day you wake up, you get to decide whether to be buried by heaviness or lifted by joy. And the more you practice this push, the stronger you become, the lighter your spirit grows, and the more your happiness becomes unshakable. Push yourself to be happy every single day, and watch how not only your life transforms, but how your light ignites happiness in the lives of everyone around you.